fans or whatever that are going to watch it, right? Is that a big concern? No, Terry, it's not. I don't care if only your mother is watching. Okay? The secret to the live art shows is it's not all about this one event. It's the whole sequence of marketing events that leads into it. So you start out and you email everybody in your list and say, hey guys, I'm going to have this live art show on Wednesday. If you want to come, love to have you show up. It'll be great. It's going to be from such and such time to such and such time. Then you stream the thing, and that's where I don't care if it's only your mom watching, right, or if it's only me watching, because if you tell me, I will tune in live. Then after it ends, you send it to everyone on your email list, and you say, here's the show you missed, right? And so that's how it goes. It's like one of those things where the paradigm in our mind is like, live art show. That means like an art show, like a big thing, retail, one night. I got to stress about it. And no, all you got to do is turn the phone on, start talking, show up a couple of pieces, turn it off, email it to everybody. Done. And Terry, I want to show you because I don't normally highlight this. So on this page that I send you after the fact will be how to run live art shows, a quick start guide, okay? And I did this in 2 pages. I did this page, which is like the why, right? Like why are they so effective? Like what makes these things incredible? How do you do, at a high level, how do you do them? Show me results from real artists. And like, I put their real shows in here so you can see little highlights. You can see what they were saying.
Many different styles.
Agnes Ravine is asking. I'm going to mute that. You can hear me. I was helping him on that one. And then down here somewhere at the bottom, okay, download the guide. And you don't even have to enter your email into the box or anything. Just click the button. And then I made you guys like all of these step-by-step videos. The equipment you need, inventory and pricing, how to get paid, where to stream the show. Oh, I don't know how to go live on Instagram, Patrick. Can you show me how to do this? Bam. Show you how to do that start to finish. So too with Facebook. So you can do this and figure this all out like in a short period of time. And then it is literally you, the cell phone, the work. Start talking. You're going to be nervous on the first one, but once you get the first one in the can, you'll really start being like, you know what? That wasn't that bad. I could do this. That was a little bit of a long-winded answer, Terry. I'm not gonna disagree there, but you muted yourself again. I want to see if you have any follow-ups, so I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you.
I know, just thank you. I agree. I think the key with anything is get started.
Just get started. Don't talk about it. Don't fumble around. I mean, people are like, well, I only have one thing to show. Great. Show the one piece. Have a flash sale on the one piece, or however you do it, right? Like, the whole key is just to get started. And my goodness, I mean, I've just never seen anything else that so many everyday artists and photographers in every different niche imaginable can do that gets such incredible results.
So can I ask you something while we're talking?
Please, yeah, please.
Okay. So, for example, I have right now some photos that are in a boutique, and some are on the wall frame. There's a portfolio in there.
Awesome.
And I separately have that just went up a couple photos that are in an art show on a street in a storefront. Like it's this whole thing. And those are ones that are geographically near me that I could go and I could talk on a cell phone or something like that. And so your point is, I understand number one, that you have, you advance tell people and you create some live time, where they can join, and you have to record it in some way so that you can then later send it to people who obviously weren't attending at that time.
Yes. And sort of like the abstraction of it is like the most important thing to have is actually the recording, right? So you can send it to everyone.
Yeah.
The least important thing are how many people actually turn in live, believe it or not.
Yeah, I kind of heard that from you. So in terms of the recording quality, though, I would imagine just holding your cell phone up.
Done. Cell phone is fantastic. Amazing camera. Super effective. Does a great job. You have
and you just go back and forth slowly. Do you have someone else holding it, or do you do it yourself?
It's sort of like, I don't really play golf anymore, but it's sort of like the game of golf. Like there's like, an entire bag full of clubs. Like sometimes it makes sense to use a phone. Sometimes you do it on your own. Sometimes you have someone else do it. Sometimes it makes sense to use a laptop. Sometimes it makes use to iPad. Sometimes phone and laptop, right? There's no wrong answer. The only thing that matters is that you get it done and you give it a test. And you'll find that you keep testing it and testing it and testing it. One of the other rants that I love doing on it, we have really, really good education on this, okay? And I'm mega, mega passionate about it. And you can hear that in my voice. I'm super fired up. I'm like an evangelist for it because I think it's such an incredible technique. but I have 6,500 customers, okay? And I've banged the drum with every combination of you have no idea how amazing this is. And that vast majority of them are still absolutely terrified to do it, okay? Terrified because it is scary. I don't want to get on camera. I don't have hair. I don't have makeup, you know, all these things. So people are just terrified. So I have to like do everything I can to get people going. And what I find is demystifying a little bit is when I just go through the list. You know, you just start on the list, and you're like,
okay, let's see if anybody has any.
What you'll find out is all these people are normal people. Okay,
Okay,
none of them have hair, none of them have makeup, none of them are living in some $8 million house, right? They're all just normal human beings, just like all the rest of us, and they're just going for it, right?
Yes.
They're just running their live arches. And so I actually had to add the service. We have like an in-house marketing agency at our storefronts too, and so I had to add it. I had to add it as a service to like, you know, get people kicking and screaming over the line. But once you do, there's no going back because they're just so effective. They're just so effective. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have advice for like getting like building that? So first of all, thank you for what you share. I think your brain and the way you assess things is spot on. And I agree with you about the collector list being critical and the need, you know, how the industry is all being disrupted.
Yes.
And needs to be direct sales where we own, you know, and build those relationships.
Correct.
Do you have other thoughts on the building of the collector list and stuff in terms of, you know, I guess everyone you meet, you ask and you have to legally ask before you put it.
Yeah. I can totally ask you that. Early on, you fake it until you make it, right? So like if we looked at Weiland's example of the collector list, like, you know, obviously Weiland, the greatest selling artist in the United States, technically for him, his collector list is anyone that really just buys one piece, right? And so for him, it's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people over the year. And then he makes a differentiation for people that have bought more than 7 pieces, and he goes like the extra level for them. Okay, fine. Doesn't matter any of that. All that matters is the concept, right? And the concept is either the people that are on your list that get treated extraordinarily special, and as a result of it, they respond, you know, because the subtle psychology of reciprocation. And so early on, everyone that's on your collector list or everyone that's on your email list is on your collector list. The only thing that I do differently is like, okay, so I'm releasing a new series of work that's going to come out on Wednesday. On Sunday, I email my collectors, and this is the only tweak I would have. As a way of saying thanks for your patronage of my business and art career over the years, I wanted to show you the work before anyone else gets to see it. Okay? That's if you have the actual collectors. Now, as a way of saying thanks for you being on my email list, you get to see the work before anyone else does, right? So you just treat the email list like the collector list until you get there, and then you kind of just keep stepping it up from there. So that's what I'd say. Got it. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I can answer your question too, Richard. I'll do it in a second. Laura was asking something about pricing. I love doing the pricing one. I can totally do the pricing one. Laura, are you there? And she says she paints using acrylic. Okay. Where are you at right now in terms of originals, just pricing wise? I'm curious.
To be honest, I literally just started. And I've got some originals and some giclées going up in a shop in like the wine country area.
Very cool.
The end of the month, but I honestly have zero clue on where to price them because I haven't sold anything yet.
Yeah, in early on, there's no magical guide to what the prices should be. I mean, the good news is that, like, you know, art is subjective, and it's not like something, you know, Amazon status, right? Where like I want to go into a supermarket, look at a price, and then say, okay, look it up on Amazon. What does it really cost? So you can the long and the short is you can set them with whatever you want. If you've never sold anything before, you just want to sell it first and get that validation, and then worry about raising or lowering prices. So what I would probably do in your case is the store that you're going to be in. If there's other art in there, they probably have a pretty good gauge on what your stuff should cost. I would just have them set it for you and see how it goes. If it sells, then easy enough to raise. If it doesn't sell, then you might have other issues. But that's probably where I would start.
What about giclée? Well, this is not a shop. It's actually a new wine and kind of appetizer bar.
Ah, got it. She's doing it for friend. Got it.
Yeah. Yep. So, do you do it by size? And then also like originals versus giclées. There's a couple originals I don't want to sell, so I'm doing giclées of those. And want to be able to make the difference between, have a difference between the giclée pricing and the originals.
Yes, the wind chime sounds amazing. I would do a 250% markup off of your wholesale cost on the prints. So that's what I would do there. And then
250. Okay.
Yep, yeah, that's just a good rule of thumb. And then I would arbitrarily set the prices on the originals. The only thing I would ask the gal, I mean, what is she going to let you do in terms of the pricing? Do you have to give her a price list, or you setting a little placard next to the pieces, or how you doing?
No, I'm going to put a placard next to it. She just said she doesn't want to have to do anything for it, so it's setting it up with like PayPal and Venmo, that kind of thing, and
good,
and a phone number. Basically.
So yeah, I mean, what I would really do is I would just use QR codes on all of the placards. Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, I've got those.
So if it's a QR code, then, you're going to be able to change and update the prices whenever you see fit, right? So here's what I would do. I don't care what you set the prices at, set the prices. If you get a lead, i.e. somebody scanning the QR code, start a conversation and be willing to negotiate. All you care about early on is getting the sales, because you haven't made any sales. You don't know if it'll sell or if it won't sell. And you'll never know until you get the sales over the line. So I would just get into a conversation with a person every single solitary time and turn it into a negotiation. And oh, by the way, that's how all art and gallery sells. Everyone always negotiates. No one ever pays retail. I think I lost you, Laura. Are you there, Laura? I think I lost her. Okay, I'm going to pivot to Richard. If you come back, you come back. Richard, I know this line all too long, all too well, my friend. I have worked in a gallery and have won a number of national awards, but still have not sold a bunch of work, right? Like, you know what my favorite line there is? I get likes and comments and shares on my stuff all the time, right? Everyone tells me to sell my work. It's great, right? I was in a show and got into a juried show and won awards, to which case I would say, Richard, if I drove to your house right now, picked you up and took you to the ATM, is there a button on the ATM machine for I've won awards, or likes and comments and shares, or everybody tells me my work is great, right? It never works that way. But let's go to what you have sold. How are you attempting to sell, or you're saying no sales whatsoever at all? And I can see you. Is your mic working, or you think your mic's not working, or?
I haven't tried to use.
Yeah, I got you. So have you sold nothing? Not at all.
I think.
Have you done a local show or fair? How is the work for sale? Only on your website or somewhere else?
I have it on my website. I have work on Artsy. I'm currently in a 3-person show where I have the major part of the show, 23 pieces up. Okay. I've had work in galleries, and I've been in it's mainly figurative work. It's all figurative work. And I've even been in the art salon for the last 2 years. Not a frickin' sale.
Not a one. Okay, so that worries me. Have you? So your work has passively been hanging in all those places, but you haven't really done like a show or a fair where you're sat down in a booth and having a conversation with 20 strangers in the course of a day or two, right?
No, I can't afford it. I can't afford the booth fee.
Okay. Yeah, early on, the biggest issue is you have to get the work in front of people. So what I would do is you're already trying the in-person stuff, right? You say you have 5,000 followers. Who is the 5,000 followers on Instagram, Facebook? Which one?
Instagram.
Okay. I would, and I imagine you have a healthy amount of inventory in the house there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that look. So what I would do is I would grab the phone and I would email my list, but I would grab the phone and I would go live and I would say, guys, tomorrow or next Wednesday at 5 p.m., I'm having a basement art sale. I got to move a ton of this stuff out of my basement, rock bottom prices, no reasonable offer will be refused, set prices, hold them up, say, if you want one and if my price is too much, send me a direct message here on Instagram and I'll let you know, and rattle through 15, 20 of them, see what happens. If no one sends you any messages, then we have a separate issue. But I have to imagine, is the piece in the behind you to the right, that's one of yours? Part photography, part paint. Is that what it is?
It's all paint.
It's all paint. Okay. So I can at least see some defined brush strokes. So it sounds like you probably know what you're doing. I'm wondering where the disconnect is, why none of it's moving. But nothing moving in 6 years is there's some sort of a drastic disconnect. Would you consider? Yeah, and Lynn's telling you that painting behind you is beautiful. Would you consider doing the live art show? Is that something you think you could do, or are you terrified of being on camera?
No, I'm not terrified of being on camera. I'm not terrified of being in front of people. It's fine.
Okay.
It's that. Well, let me see. How do I put this? It's figurative work doesn't sell. No,
that's erroneous. All work sells, and trust me, I've seen it. All work sells like you can't believe, right? Like you look at my buddy who I showed on the thing, and his concept was the basement art sale, right? And I showed it earlier. This was a bunch of stuff that he created when he wasn't even as mature a painter, right? And a lot of the stuff wasn't that even that good. And I'm pulling it up now. I want you to watch one of these so you can kind of get a concept for it about how he talked about it. And which one am I going to pull up here? Let's see. Is this the one? Yeah, I'm going to pull this one up. A lot of this was like his older stuff, and he was just in his studio, and like no reasonable offer was refused, right? And he took offers, and sometimes people lowballed him, and sometimes they didn't. This doesn't look anything like what he does now. So it totally worked for him, and it could totally work for you. And I want you to email me when you're going to do it. I will watch the show live. Here, show me one.
This is what I'm basically doing now.
Got it. See, that actually looks pretty cool to me. So I think there's a disconnect here, and I don't understand what it is. I need you to do the live show, and I want you to email your list after the fact. And I've got the entire guide for you, and I'll tune in live too.
But I don't have a list. It's the problem.
Okay,
I can't get a list if I don't have somebody a collector.
Yeah, it's okay. You've got 5,000 people on Instagram. That's enough. I've got people that have 200 people on Instagram that made a couple of sales.
So do this on Instagram.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. And did you see how when I walked through the entire guide step by step?
I came in 15 minutes late, so I'm sure that I got part of it.
So I want you to watch the first video, and then I'm going to send you a page just like this, Art Business Webinar Replay in a couple hours. And then down here is how to run live art shows, a quick start guide. Don't worry, I'm going to send it to you. You don't need to squint now. And in here will be why you should run it, and then the guide. And then in here is everything that you need to know how to do, including how to go live on Instagram right here, how to go live on Instagram. And I want you to send me a link because I'll watch live, and I want to understand what the heck is going on. All you got to do is email me and tell me when you're going to do it.
So one quick question while I have you here.
Yeah, please.
I'm currently on Phaso.
Yeah.
Nothing happened with it.
Yeah, it's because you're not doing any marketing.
Okay. I did try to do their marketing guide with little or no success.
Yeah, they copied us on that one, and they did a terrible job at it.
So that's kind of my question. Mm-hmm. Should I move to you, and why?
No,
because
I don't want you moving anywhere right now. I want you selling some work immediately yesterday. We've got to get down to the bottom of what the hell is going on there, and I don't understand it for the life of me, right? So there's some sort of disconnect that I don't fully understand, and we got to get to the bottom of that before we get to anything else. Like, you don't need to be working on a website, okay? You don't need to be doing anything except selling art to strangers. That's it. This is your lane. Your lane is selling art to strangers. People not named mom, dad, brother, sister, family, friends. I want you staying in this lane, and anything does not accomplish selling art to strangers means you're out of the lane. I don't care about the website. I want you to run that live art show. Then I want you to get enough money together to get a booth at a craft show right there that you can sit down and show a bunch of people your work and see what happens. Like, ultimately, I always use like the restaurant analogy, right? You and I are both cooks. We both want to start a restaurant. You know what I do? I'm going to write a business plan. And then I'm going to go down to the bank and I'm going to get funding. And then I'm going to run around town and rent a building. And then I'm going to lease a bunch of restaurant equipment. And then I'm going to hire a concierge or maitre d', whatever. And then I'm going to open my doors and invite everyone in. And do you know what you did? You went to Costco. I was on page 2 of my business plan, and you got a rolling cart. And you made your tacos, and you rolled them right into an office building, and they didn't sell. They didn't sell at all. And you're like, okay, time for plan B. Then you made your burgers and rolled them into another office building. I was on page 3 of my business plan. And guess what? People are around the corner lining up for these burgers. Everyone's like, Richard, can you come back next week? These are insane. Then you start the restaurant with the burgers. You know what I did? I didn't do any of that. I wasted 9 months opening my restaurant, and nobody likes my food. So I could try something different. I could change. So step 1, all I want you to do is figure out, is it the food or is it something else? I don't know what it is. And you won't know either until we get it in front of eyeballs and try to start sell. Which is why I want to watch the show.
No idea.
Yeah. And the initial show is free. You don't have to do anything. And I'm going to send you the step-by-step guide. So all you got to do is email me back, Instagram handle, when you're going to do it.
Will do. Thank you.
Appreciate that. That's always how you have to start. Yeah, and there's multiple people saying your work is fantastic, which is why, like, Molly's saying that, and someone else said it earlier, like, there's a disconnect here, and we don't know what it is, right? So when I see him on video trying to sell, like, unless he's doing something crazy that I don't fully understand, I don't know what it is, because I imagine the work is good. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, I get fired up about this stuff. I do. There's there's certain steps that you have to take, a roadmap you have to take. What else, guys? Questions? It's a quiet bunch today. Is this because it's Monday, maybe? I don't know. Well, while you guys are... What? Oh, you want to...
one question from Judith.
I didn't see a hand.
She said she wants to get started, but if you don't have a client list, accept friends and relatives.
Okay, and you said that was Judith. I'm going to unmute you, Judith, so I can talk to you. So what was the question exactly, Judith? And you'll just need to hit the unmute icon, Judith, bottom left-hand corner, microphone icon. You click it once, or if you're on your phone, you might be on a phone. It's a little bit more complicated. I'll let you know when you get it. There's some sort of microphone icon down there somewhere, and generally speaking, you just have to click it once. Oh, you got the camera, so you were close. We're close, Judith. I believe in you. I'm confident you're going to be able to sort this. Oh, you had it. You were so close. Okay, I'll just start answering you. Yeah, so she's saying she wants to get started, except she doesn't have a client list except friends and relatives. That's okay. That's how it starts. Everybody starts that way. You know, the reality is that you end up building followers one follower at a time, right? Same as all the rest of us. And we have a bunch of really creative ways when you're just getting started of building an email list. And they all center around print giveaways. They're actually extremely inexpensive, and they are a fantastic way to capture email addresses. And we have people that go from 0 people on a list to like 1,500 on a list from their very first giveaway, their very first one. And some, it takes 3 to 6 months to get 2,000 people on the list, but it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So that's what I would say. Yeah, you could totally do it. And Laura, I saw your internet died, and Sarah, I see your question. I always start with the hands, and then I'll come back and I'll get you guys again too. So go ahead, Diana. And by the way, hold on, we can have somebody reach out to Judith too, to show her the demo and all that, so you can put her on the list, Ivona. But go ahead, Diana.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
I paint and I do photography and I do theater.
Okay.
Production design. So I have a very wide range of what I do, and I've been doing it for a while. Pandemic came and really put a real stop to what was happening. I have 5,000 people on Facebook. How do I use these 5,000 people? I do post, and also I've done international relations, and I kind of put some stuff for that also there. But how do I use Facebook that I have all these people there effectively? And how do I control my pricing? I do prints also for my photography.
I can speak to Facebook, but what do you mean when you say control your pricing?
I mean, how can I raise or lower my pricing as things go in one way or the other? Because COVID was there, and then war now and other stuff, that people refocus on other stuff. Not art is the least of their...
No, that's nonsense. That's totally an excuse. I'm not letting you get away with that.
Okay.
So
okay, that's
yeah. It sells. It sells no matter what, and you can raise or lower your prices at any point in time, right? And you know, the reason I push back is because I've seen people that their business exploded during COVID. It was the biggest years they ever had. because more people were in their homes and locked down, and as such bored with being inside. I've seen people that regardless of recessions and war and this and that, there's always something on the horizons, right? And their business keeps growing. And if their business keeps growing, so can yours. Now, it doesn't mean it's easy, right? It more often than not, the reason that what differentiates the people that are winning and not winning is the people that are winning are doing the one thing that no one ever wants to do: marketing. You guys all just want to create. I've never met any of you, and yet I know I can read you. Okay, I'm the great Swami, right? Like whatever his name was, Johnny Carson. All of you guys just want to create. Okay. Right. And you want someone else to do the selling, someone else to do the marketing, and you just go into your creative place. Turns out that's a fairy tale. That's a hobby, okay? If you want the business to grow, you have to do the marketing, and that's what we teach people to do all day long, right?
I do that. I do that, especially with Facebook. I have not done in Instagram, and after your talk today,
you have to do both. You have to do both. Yeah, you have to do both. They're both really important. It's what we teach, Diana, all year long. And to answer your question about Facebook, you need to be posting regularly. You need to have live art shows on there. You need to run a sale when the time is appropriate. And once you reach a decent volume of sales, like if you sold more than it's sort of arbitrary to pick a number, but let's say if you sold more than $4,000 directly from your website, then it's time to start doing Facebook ads as well. So those are the types of things that we advocate, and so the types of things that we teach you how to do. But there's not any one magical thing you can do. It's a combination of all of it, right? So that's what I would say.
Okay. So I have to start. Can I do videos on Facebook?
Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah. My guide will show you how to do all of it.
You can see behind me some of my work, but
it's beautiful.
I go to my and I will take this around so you can see the rest of.
See, I love this. She's doing the live art show right now on Zoom. Boom. That's what I'm talking about, Diana. Getting it done.
So you can see where I'm at.
Yeah.
In terms of, and I have a lot of inventory.
You got a ton of inventory to move, yes. So all you have to do is have it. I'm gonna send you guys examples of the shows too, so you can watch kind of how they talk about it and how they go through it, so you can get a little bit of insight, because Richard's asking what the price point situations are. Just start conversations, right? And if someone's like, I really like that piece, but $800 is a little steep for my budget right now, then all you do is just go, okay, make me an offer.
Okay.
And then shut up. And then don't say anything else. It's really hard to be quiet. We're all going to do this. In fact, Diana, I want you to do it. Diana, I like that piece, but it's a little expensive for my budget right now. To which you reply,
how much you want to spend? What is your budget?
Yep. Don't even say what is the budget. Just say, make me an offer, and then shut up. Don't say anything. And this advice goes for you especially, Richard, because then you put them into a decision, right, for what it's worth, and then you can decide. Like, if you want to move it, move it. If not, be like, okay, cool, maybe I can show you something else. So that's just a really, really good trick to have, because I feel like with you guys especially, human beings are decent people, and no matter what, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, your work is so beautiful, right? And it very well might be, or they might just not. They might just be nice people. The only way you're ever going to know the difference is when you go, make me an offer, and then you shut up. And then just enjoy the awkward silence. It gets to the point where you really actually end up enjoying it, because it really, because then they're like, and then you're like, okay, don't worry, you're being nice. I appreciate you. But yeah, it's such a good technique to have. So I'm gonna send you the guide. I think you should look at it too.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
That's my pleasure. That's what I do. Thanks, Jan. Okay. Next up is Jerry Chambers. Go ahead, Jerry. And then Judith, I'll get you again. Don't worry. Are you there, Jerry? You'll need to unmute. Bottom.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, Patrick, I really enjoyed the Zoom meeting today. I'm not an artist, but I work with an artist and a photographer, and I'm really interested in trying to get their art out. They're both fantastic, but they're terrible in terms of marketing.
Jerry, that's all of them. That's 99% of them are terrible.
Yeah. I want to show you one piece from one of the artists real quick.
Yeah. Let me check it out.
This is a piece he did.
Very cool.
Mixed media with dot work and acrylic.
Very cool.
And he does fantastic work.
Who's the trumpet player?
Miles Davis.
Miles Davis. Got it. Awesome.
And this guy's phenomenal. He's from Africa. So I'm really interested in trying to work with you and maybe set up an agreement with both of them and do something collaborative with them and start having, the live art shows. I have somebody that can do that for us, but I really, my brain has been really stimulated by some of the things that you're talking about in terms of marketing.
Yeah, it's the whole ball game. It's literally the whole ball game. It's what differentiates the successful ones from the non.
As a great artist, but they're terrible at marketing. So I really want to know how to create more activity for these two guys.
Yeah,
and get more detail as to how we could enlist your company to work with us and the cost and all that's involved, because you haven't gone into any figures yet of how much it costs to work with you.
Yeah, I can give you like sort of baseline pricing on all that stuff. And tell you, that's also a different session where they like walk you through the whole product, the bells, the whistles, the various different packages.
Well, that's what I'm interested in now. The bells and the whistles of how to work with you, because I definitely have two artists that I think would benefit from partnering with your company.
Yeah, I would say all artists can benefit from working with us and it's a big if they are willing to stop treating their businesses like their New Year's resolution. When you sign up for the gym in January and you're going 4 days a week in January, and then late February comes around and you've been once all month. That's how all artists and photographers approach their marketing. If your clients are willing to learn and willing to do so consistently, and hey, Patrick, I've got 4 hours a week to work on this. Okay. Give me 4 hours a week, 52 weeks in a row, and watch what happens. Things will actually start moving forward in your business, as opposed to what everyone else does, which is, again, treats it like a New Year's resolution, right? Works on it for a little bit. So it's a great product for people that are willing to work the program, or it's a great product for people that are willing to pay to have us to do it. But very few people can do that all the time, aside from like the biggest of the big artists, right? Because most are struggling to get traction. So that's how it all goes. And I can tell you our plans start at, we are equal measure a website technology company, and we are equal measure a postgraduate university that teaches art and photography, business, and marketing. Except there's never any graduates, because we just keep teaching and teaching and teaching, and the goalposts keep moving and moving and moving, right? Live art shows weren't even a thing 2 years ago. So we're part university, part website and technology company. And so like any website, you pay a monthly fee. And then to get into the university, it's a one-time fee of $999. There's some plans that are a little bit bigger. Oh, and then the monthly website fee is like $49 or $39 or $59 or something like that. But we're different is the fact that it's not a website. No artists have a website problem. They all have a marketing problem. And so we're just, the easiest way to think about what we are is like we're a university. It's the easiest way to think about it. There's in-person classes, there's support, there's one-on-one sessions, there's chat, there's weekly Zooms, there's the playbooks, there's the textbooks, it's the easiest way to think about it.
Sounds very good. I'd like to get all that information and talk to my associates about partnering.
We'll have somebody reach out to you for a demo, and then you can go through the demo. And they know all the nitty-gritty about all the numbers and every single solitary plan. They'll walk you through all the services and all the rest. But again, it's great if the artist or photographer, number one, has the perspective that they're not going to be driving an S-Class Mercedes in 3 months. Okay, you have to work at this business and like really, stay at it consistently, and they're willing to learn. And then it ends up being a great thing. So that's what I'd say.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, Jared.
Looking forward to getting additional information.
Yep, you will for sure. We'll reach out. Don't worry. You don't have to do anything else.
Thank you.
Thanks. And Richard was asking a question. Yes, Todd Monk is a customer. Love Todd. Super good dude. So I'm glad you know him. Do you have photographers? So Sarah was asking, do you have photographers who sell as well as other artists? Yeah, 100%. Some sell, there's every imaginable media type and niche and this and that I've seen, just period. It's crazy. Okay, I'm going back to you, Judith. And then there was no, not Judith. I'm sorry. It was Laura. I got confused. Hold on. Oh yeah, I had to finish up with Laura on pricing. Yeah, I would honestly, Laura, I would search the internet a little bit for sizes and pick what you think you're comfortable with, and just don't go too high until you. Here's exactly how I would do it. I would price a little bit lower than you think until you sell one or two. Once you sell one or two, then I would raise the prices, because it's a total guessing game early on, and there's like literally no rhyme or reason to how it all goes and how it all works. So don't overthink it. Spend 10 minutes after this call is done Googling some sizes and look at some of the prices, and then set them, get them in there, and see what happens. Because you control the QR codes, you can change them at any point in time. So that's what I'd say.
Okay.
Do not, but literally I want you to set the timer 1 hour. You get 1 hour of messing around on the internet, no more than that. Once that timer is off, those prices are set. Do not overthink it, because this is like a normal thing everyone does. They spend hours and hours and hours and hours contemplating the prices. All I care is that art gets on that wall and those placards go up, and you see what happens.
Okay, but you were saying on the giclées, price them at 250 of what they cost.
Yep.
So let's say I'm paying $40 for a giclée.
Yep.
Then 250 is going to be a lot more than I would imagine that I would be spending or charging, if you're saying, charge a little bit lower for the originals.
Yeah. So, okay, let's just say the giclées start at 200 and go up to 5 or 6 or 700. The originals start at 800 and go up to 12 or 13 or 1400. Stay in that range.
Okay. Even the smaller sizes?
Smaller sizes, you can go a little bit cheaper.
Okay.
But just set it. The point is that the only thing that really matters, I could care less what the prices even are. The only thing that matters is how many people are scanning, and are people coming your way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I would say.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't overthink it. Judith, it does look like you figured out your mic thing. I think I might be able to hear you if you talk.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about, Judith. We always get the tech support issues over the line. Always.
The one idea that I came up with is to write a letter to Mount Holyoke College, where I went to school and was an art major, and ask for the class list from the year I graduated.
Yes.
Now, I don't know a whole lot of those people very well, but I can send something to all of them because we have that in common.
Yep.
So that's 400 people right there.
Boom. If they give you the list, yeah, that's a great way to do it. You could send one email to those folks, okay, but what you can't do is put those people on your email list and then start emailing them weekly, because that would probably upset them. So we're still going to have to teach you how to grow an email list, but that's okay. That's what we do.
Okay. I have a brother who has no college education, married a second marriage to a woman who's an artist, and she does art that's probably you don't have anybody else who does it.
Okay.
She makes dolls.
Okay.
And she has done the whole thing of going for weekend things and setting up a bunch of dolls for sale and sending out information to her client list that she grows, and my brother helps her with that, and so that she does have a client list.
Yep.
She's been doing this for 20 years.
Yep.
And I don't know that she makes a whole lot of money at it, but they're living nicely out west in a little home with a swimming pool. I mean, it's
good
not
living.
that bad.
That's good living right there. Yeah, I mean, look,
I don't even like what she does.
That's the beauty of art. Let me tell you, we have some people on the platform that are extremely successful, and I think their art is garbage. It's because it's eye of the beholder, right? Like it's not supposed to appeal to everyone. So that's the genius of it.
I have another friend who graduated from the same college I did, and she became a professional artist, and she's somebody that I can call for advice.
Awesome.
She does mainly not chalk. What am I trying to say?
Charcoal,
I'm 77.
pastels.
I forget shit.
It's all right. I'm 43 and I do too. Full disclosure. CRS we call
pastels.
it. Yes, pastels.
And she does them from life, and she does them from outdoors. So she has a style, and it's quite nice. And she sells in galleries, and she has shows, and she's probably could be a person who I could get some advice from.
Well,
I never tried to get advice from her before because I never really thought that I could sell my art.
Well, there you go. You gotta get advice from friends. That's how it works,
right.
Especially the ones that are actually successful.
Right.
So only people that have swimming pools and above, Judith. Okay, that's a cutoff. Otherwise, no chance.
Okay. Well, I thank you. I know that I need to be on Instagram. I have a niece who has become very successful as an Instagram artist, and she doesn't even put frames on her stuff. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, do my things need to be framed? How do I?
Nah, you're overthinking it. It. Yeah, most people like to pick their own frames, in all honesty. So I wouldn't overthink it.
So I have another friend who's an artist, and she says, iron the art. So it's really flat. Then you can hang it up better.
Well, you're getting top points for making me laugh, Judith. But we will we'll have somebody reach out to you, and you can see whether or not we're a good fit for you.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Judith. And then you got to talk to you. You sound like you've got a very strong list of connections that you need to start putting some time in with, I think. All right. What else, guys? Questions? I will be sending absolutely everyone the replay with all the bells, all the whistles, all the everything in it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I forgot to mention. Mother's Day obviously is coming up. Big art selling holiday. Still time to get live. Go ahead, Lynn. You're up next.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Great. Just a quick question.
Yes.
Yesterday, Sunday, we had my son's own restaurants, and we had a fundraiser, really beautiful fundraiser for Ukraine. And I contributed 2 small 12-inch square paintings that were studies. And I put $250 each on them as an opening bid, which is a lot for people looking for cheap bargains at a fundraiser. But they both sold. And I think it was a combination of, well, they liked the work, but also they knew that 100% of the sale was going to the fundraiser. And I really find, I'm in the Hamptons, where people are very wealthy and extraordinarily chintzy or cheap.
Yes.
And
I've been to the Hamptons. I'm aware.
Yeah. And I find that if it's connected with a fundraiser for a good cause, people are more inclined to be generous and to buy something. So it's just something I wanted to say to everybody, that if you can make it, you don't have to give 100%, but you could give 10% or 15 or something, and people are happier to spend the money.
Oh, it goes even deeper than that, my dear. It's one of the massive marketing techniques that we advocate for growing the list.
Okay.
And so
there you are.
Where we find it to be most effective is when you donate the pieces to charity, right? And then you make it a raffle. So in order to win the piece, they come to your website and they can buy a $25 entry ticket or a $50 or a $100 or a $500 or $1,000, and each one constitutes a certain amount of entries to the raffle. After the event is done, you pick the winner, they get the piece, the charity gets all the money. But because you sold all those tickets, on your website, you get all of their email addresses.
Yes.
And then afterwards, you say, hey, you guys didn't win, but here is now a sale running on all the prints store-wide, including that one, and it expires in 48 hours. So there you go. So now you took that whole entire charity buying opportunity. You got a bunch of people to come to your website, not only opt in, but put a credit card down, which tells you they've got money for future purposes, and you can market to them in the future. So that's how you turn it into a massive win. But yeah, your situation was a little different because it was in a restaurant. But just to let you know, you're on the right track. I had to let you know that.
Great.
So
great. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I see your question, Karen. Exactly. You're in the same situation. Whereas, everyone tells me my work is great. If I picked you up, Karen, and drove you down to the ATM machine and said, show me the button on the ATM machine for everyone says my work is great, you wouldn't be able to find it because that button doesn't exist, right? You have to attempt to sell to strangers, otherwise you'll never know. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. Yeah, and Richard's asking, the domain is the least of your concerns. That takes 2 seconds. The moving the website, that takes two seconds too. We're not cheap though. That's your problem, right? The reason we're not cheap is because we actually want you to be successful, and we know the only way we can be successful is to teach you how to be successful over the next rest of your life, essentially. So you could see a demo, Richard, but I want you to run the live art show first. I really do. And you should follow Todd. Todd does them on a regular. Or has done several of them. I haven't talked to him in the last couple of months. So I don't know if he's done one in the last couple of months. But anyway, what else? I feel like I've talked myself into circles today. See, yeah, he's seen Todd do one. Somebody else was saying on YouTube that she hasn't seen one. The smart artists are all doing it. They're all doing it. That's what I responded to her. Anyway, Mother's Day is coming, guys. Huge art selling holiday. The difference between the people that are successful on Mother's Day and not are the ones that actually run a sale. It's that simple. It's not any more difficult than that. Don't make it any more difficult than that, right? So there's still time to run one. But yeah, you want to find out more information about us, about what we do. You could take advantage. I think we're having a Mother's Day sale. All you have to do is put in a demo, and one of our lovely people will reach out and set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting with you where you can see all the bells, all the whistles, all the behind the scenes, all the everything that we have on offer, and all the pricing, all the stuff that I don't know, which is fantastic. So that's if you've come into our ecosystem and you're like, hey, these people sounds like they know what they're talking about. For everyone else, we haven't convinced you yet. Don't worry about that. We will circle back around with you. Don't worry, Richard. I have your email address, so I can put you on the list. You don't have to fill out anything. Ivona, will you put Richard's name on the list? We'll have somebody reach out. One less thing to do, right? You have to fill out a form now, which is nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Well, I'm going to email you guys all soon. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for staying. Thanks for the great questions, especially on a Monday. I hope you all have wonderful weeks. And hope to see you all either on a future session or on the inside or running a live art show and emailing it to me, telling me about it because I want to watch. And I'm not kidding. I will literally pop on and watch. So all you got to do is just let me know.